a break. A type 2 diabetes drug has been gaining national attention due to social media influencers promoting it as a weight loss benefit. Many believe that's tied to a current supply shortage, even here in Western Mass. And Western Mass News reporter Libby James getting answers on what health officials want us to know.
With the manufacturing constraints and the stress on the supply chain, I think that the production of it has been kind of decreased, and the manufacturer just can't keep up with the demand.
Western Mass News is getting answers on the national shortage of the diabetes drug Ozempic. Springfield's pharmacy co-owner Alex Wu tells us his store has also been impacted. We reached out to the company that makes the drug, Novo Nordisk, to find out what is causing the shortage, and they responded in part, quote, "We are currently experiencing intermittent supply disruptions on various doses of Ozempic due to the combination of incredible demand coupled with the overall global supply constraints. While products continue to be manufactured and shipped, patients in some areas of the country will experience delays." Western Mass News is digging deeper into one possible reason for the increased demand, Ozempic's side effect of losing weight. Social media has been buzzing with influencers touting its use for dropping pounds quickly. But this is causing concerns in the medical community.
Unfortunately, with social media, the hype starts, and I think people start to believe that this is a good way to go. But I would actually advocate and say, really think about this before you decide to go to your provider and talk about this.
We spoke with Catherine Armentrout, the director of the Family Nurse Practitioner Program at American International College. She explains an active ingredient in Ozempic, semaglutide, has been approved for weight loss by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, but Ozempic itself has not. However, another product, which is manufactured by the same company, Wegovy, is an FDA approved for chronic weight management.
Wegovy, which is the same exact active ingredient as Ozempic, is approved for weight loss by the FDA. The only difference is the dosing of the Wegovy is higher than the Ozempic, okay? That's the only thing that really sets it apart.
But we're learning Wegovy is also in short supply. Novo Nordisk tells us we're on track to make all the dose strengths of Wegovy available in December, and broad commercial relaunch is expected to commence next year. Armentrout tells us there are dangers with taking Ozempic for weight loss only, including pancreatitis, nausea, vomiting, constipation, and increased risk of thyroid cancer. Meanwhile, the company tells Western Mass News, Novo Nordisk does not promote, suggest, or encourage off-label use of our medicines and is committed to fully complying with all applicable U.S. laws and regulations in the promotions of our products. We trust that healthcare providers are evaluating a patient's individual needs and determining which medicine is right for that particular patient.
Now, for those who take Ozempic for diabetes and are concerned about the short supply, talk to your doctor to see if there's an alternative medicine you can take in the meantime. For Western Mass News, I'm Libby James.